Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Sam, and with me is the insightful Taylor.
Great to be here.
Today we're taking a truly unique journey, a deep dive into the enchanting world of the Darjeeling toy train. It's really not just a mode of transport. It's like a living piece of history, winding its way through the Himalayas.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here isn't just the train itself, but the layers of story it carries. We're looking at a remarkable feat of 19th century engineering and also a profound cultural legacy woven right into the fabric of the region. Plus, it's an experience that genuinely seems to slow time for anyone who steps aboard. Our mission today is really to unpack its entire narrative, from its audacious problem-solving beginnings right up to its current status as a cherished global treasure, and maybe explore why it still feels so relevant today.
And what a unique journey it promises to be. I mean, try to imagine this with us. There's this soft, almost wistful whistle cutting through the crisp mountain air. It's the sound of a little blue steam engine, its engine just gently chugging, getting ready for an ascent into the clouds. Maybe you're leaning out of an open window, feeling that cool breeze on your face, watching kids below waving like crazy from the platform. Their cheers are mixing with the rhythmic sounds of the locomotive. Then, with this charming little lurch, the climb really starts.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's pulling you not just uphill, but sort of backwards in time.
Exactly. And if we connect that immediate sort of visceral experience to the bigger picture, you quickly realize this isn't just any old train ride. It's often described as a step back in time, right? Or an encounter with engineering brilliance that, frankly, defied the odds back then. And maybe even a dance through the misty folds of the Himalayas. That's a lovely phrase I came across. The moment that whistle blows, you're not just moving physically, you really are transported into another era, a whole different rhythm of life. It engages all your senses in a way that modern travel, well, it rarely does.
So the incredible story of this railway actually kicks off in the late 19th century. We're talking around the 1870s. Back then, Darjeeling was fast becoming known as the jewel of the British Raj. That's the period of British rule in India. The region was really flourishing, and its famous tea plantations were absolutely booming, producing some of the world's best, most prized leaves. But this booming industry had a huge logistical problem.
It really did. Transporting that precious Darjeeling tea plus essential supplies and people from those high, rugged hills down to the plains, it was, well, literally backbreaking work. The terrain is just so winding, incredibly steep, it made normal transport almost impossible. You had horses and bullock carts, sure, but they were agonizingly slow, prone to accidents on those slopes, and they just couldn't handle the volume needed. So this raises a really important question for engineers back then. How do you move essential goods? How do you connect communities across such an impossible landscape, especially with the tech they had?
And the solution they came up with was, frankly, audacious for its time. A narrow gauge mountain railway. Now, for listeners who might not know, narrow gauge means the tracks are set much closer together than standard ones.
Right.
About 2 feet wide for this line, actually. And this was a crucial design choice. It allowed the train to handle the incredibly sharp curves and steep inclines you get in the Himalayan foothills. It wasn't just a straight shot. It was carefully designed to thread its way right through tea gardens, thick pine forests, and these bustling little bazaars. So it became like a living part of the landscape it passed through.
And this ambitious dream, it became a reality incredibly fast. Construction started in 1879, and by 1881, the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway was actually up and running. And it didn't just move tea, it completely transformed the whole region. It opened up Darjeeling to more trade, tourism, easier communication. It was basically a lifeline that really shaped how the area developed socially and economically.
Right. Now, the engineering behind this railway is just phenomenal, especially when you think about the tools they had in the late 1800s. I mean, how did they actually manage those incredibly steep gradients? Some drops like 1 foot for every 20 feet across. A normal train would just slide right off.
That's where the genius of the engineers, particularly a chap named Franklin Prestage, really came through. They used 2 main sort of groundbreaking techniques, zigzags and loops.
Mm-hmm.
To get why they were so brilliant, you have to remember a typical steam engine back then couldn't really climb gradients steeper than about, say, 1 in 25 or 1 in 30. So when they hit an incline that was too steep, a zigzag let the train actually reverse direction. The train pulls forward onto a short siding, then it backs up onto another track, set slightly higher up. It effectively turns around while climbing. Think of it like a controlled switchback on a mountain path, but for a train. It let the train climb in these forward and backward movements. Wow, so it was basically a series of controlled back and forth to gain height. That's incredibly clever.
Exactly. And then you have the loops, and the most famous one is definitely the Batasia loop. Unlike a zigzag, a loop or a spiral lets the train gain a lot of height by literally circling over itself. At Batasia, the tracks form this perfect helix shape. The train passes over itself using a tunnel or a bridge. It does a full 360-degree turn to climb hundreds of feet. It's just a marvel of spatial engineering, using every single inch of land to solve this huge topographical challenge.
And the Batasia Loop isn't just about the engineering, is it? It's a whole sensory experience, too. As the train makes that perfect circle, passengers get this breathtaking, almost cinematic 360-degree view. And all of this against the absolutely stunning backdrop of the snow-dusted Kanchenjunga mountain range. I mean, that's the third highest peak in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Even seasoned travelers, people who've seen amazing views all over the world, they pause there. They're really struck by the sight of the Himalayas rising up over the green valleys. It really is one of those aha moments. It brings together human ingenuity and just the sheer grandeur of nature. It's a powerful reminder of how humans can adapt and overcome nature's challenges, even with limited tech, while also feeling completely dwarfed by its scale. Plus, that's often where you spot the Goom Monastery nearby, adding a kind of spiritual feel to the whole thing.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more, because over the decades, the toy train became so much more than just, a way to get from A to B. It really turned into a living storyteller for the whole region. It's almost like the rails themselves soaked up the history they saw.
Totally. Its whistle, that unique sound, became like an alarm clock for sleepy villages. Its smoke curled across those huge rolling tea estates. And its tiny carriages, they became this mobile melting pot. They carried tea and supplies, yeah, but also just this incredible mix of people. You had poets, planters, traders, and travelers from every corner of the world, as one source put it. For the locals, it was absolutely vital, a lifeline, connecting communities, helping trade, even bringing the mail. And for visitors, it quickly became pure romance on wheels, a symbol of adventure, a link to the colonial past. It really shaped Darjeeling's identity.
So it's not just about seeing history, but actually feeling like you're part of its continuation when you ride it today. Like as you lean out of the window, feel that mountain breeze, hear that chugging sound. It's hard not to imagine all the people who've ridden that same line for over 140 years.
Yeah.
You're kind of sharing the journey with generations, British colonials, tea pickers, pilgrims, honeymooners, everyone.
That's such a crucial point. It evokes this really powerful sense of continuity. The train genuinely bridges the past and the present. It gives you this tangible connection to Darjeeling's whole story, and that enduring significance is exactly why. Well, here's where the story gets even more interesting on a global scale.
Yes, exactly. In recognition of its profound cultural, historical, and engineering value, UNESCO declared the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway a World Heritage Site. That was back in 1999, which is a huge deal, a testament to its unique place in the world.
It really is. This puts it in a very elite group of the world's greatest mountain railways. Think alongside places like the Semmering Railway in Austria or the Rhaetian Railway in Switzerland. The UNESCO title isn't just about the clever design. It acknowledges its role in the social and economic life of this multicultural region. And the fact that it's this enduring example of a traditional railway still chugging along today, it really solidifies its place in global history.
But, beyond that prestigious title, what really makes it unforgettable is the actual experience itself, something you just can't replicate anywhere else. It's not about just ticking off a landmark. It's about a feeling, isn't it?
And that's precisely it, because it's an experience designed not for speed, but for immersion. It's like a deliberate antidote to our crazy, fast-paced world. It pulls you into a totally different rhythm. This journey offers just a unique blend of sensory details.
So what does this all mean for you, the traveler? I mean, where else can you sip piping hot Darjeeling tea, feel the gentle rocking, listen to that rhythmic, almost meditative chug of a century-old steam engine, and then watch the clouds literally part to reveal those massive Himalayan peaks? It's a feast of the senses, but it's also like a journey into mindfulness.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how people describe it not just as a ride, but as an emotion. It's the thrill of moving at the pace of another era, where the journey itself really mattered, maybe more than just getting there. It's the simple joy of waving at kids by the tracks, seeing their faces light up, or hearing locals cheer, or just pause their day when the whistle blows. Or crossing through those busy bazaars where shopkeepers look up from their work to watch the train roll by like an old friend. These are those moments of real connection, the human element that makes it so much more than just a trip.
Above all, yeah, it's an adventure that just slows time right down. It lets travelers really breathe in that nostalgia of a world gone by. It's immersive, almost meditative. It encourages you to just be present, to observe, and simply exist in a moment that feels both ancient and somehow eternally new. Such a contrast to our hyper-connected, always rushing world.
You know, this deep dive into the Darjeeling toy train, it really reminds us that sometimes the true value of a journey isn't just the destination, right? It's the unique, unhurried, and deeply human experience of the travel itself. It kind of challenges us to seek out those moments that go beyond just transit and actually become profound, lasting memories. It invites us to maybe reconsider how we explore in this fast-paced world. It's like a living lesson in slow travel and the power of human ingenuity.
Absolutely. So if you find yourself heading to Darjeeling, don't just see the mountains ride through their heart. Step aboard the toy train, let that whistle call you, and just allow yourself to be carried into this living story that's been unfolding for well over 140 years. And if you do decide to travel to Darjeeling, we actually have a recommendation. Five Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are really immersive cultural experiences. You can email them at contact@fivesensestours.com. Just note that the 5 is written as the numeral 5 in contact at fivesensestours.com, or you can reach them on WhatsApp at +919 845 67446.